This is a series of films that tells the history of contemporary fashion photography as seen through the eyes of models. Has becoming a mother changed how you feel about modelling?
Nope.
Right.
Not at all.
Great question. I'll be right there.
I don't think so. It's weird. I think having kids is really, I actually feel more confident in my body. I feel like my body is now my body.
Right.
Before I was a little girl and now I'm a woman in a way. And I understand my body and I have so much respect for it. I can't believe what women's bodies do. I'm just staggered by it. And I don't know, I feel my body's never looked better than once I had kids.
Right. And have your children asked to go, or said they want to go into modelling, or were...
My daughter hates having her picture taken. She's a real tomboy kind of, she's just punk. She's full expression in her own way. Yeah. She's not interested yet.
And if it changed, if the opportunity came along, would you say no, don't do it, or would you say yes, absolutely do it? Which way would you go?
I always allow, just allow. And I think, for me anyway, I know that if I didn't have my family and my roots, I wouldn't have lasted. I think as a model you have to be very strong as a person. You have to really know where you're from, and I think if you've got strong roots, nothing can really sway you, because it's hard, it's tough. There's a lot of egos, a lot of people with opinions, and you have to know that, okay, that's my job, and then I go home and this is who I am. And be proud of who you are. So
it's a naff question, but if you were advising a sort of 14, 13-year-old girl about modelling, what would be the one thing you'd say?
I would just say, just know who you are and be true to yourself and never do anything you don't feel comfortable doing. Right. But, within that, you're allowed to express in a way that you feel good about. Yeah.
Okay, right. Can you tell me a little bit about this?
This was, I think, for the Sunday Times. And I don't know, I can't remember. I think it was a piece about me. And I remember feeling kind of freaked out with that across my neck. It's just like, it felt bizarre. But I love this image, wow, it's amazing. I haven't seen it in a while.
As I remember, it was something they wanted to do to at least allude to the idea of modelling being something that you put on different, and it was really an ongoing investigation into control. I guess roughly where I was thinking we were situating this. Because how much is that something you feel that you lacked, or do you feel you were in control of your career? Do you feel that you
not really
misrepresented, in terms of the images people took of you? Or?
No, I think I was always quite, again, I was really lucky to work with people like you and Mario and people of a certain kind of caliber that allowed me to be me. So I never really did anything, I never felt vulnerable really in any way. I never felt, that I was taken advantage of at all by anybody. But models really are just, you see them and that's kind of all you know about them. They don't really, up until now that everything is so sort of, with the social media and all of these films and things, it's different, it's becoming different. But at this time it was very much just face value. You didn't really have a voice necessarily. So and on set it was really just depended how well you knew the people, but often you're not really allowed an opinion. It's just you're here to do what they want you to do. So.
I always feel very acutely that moment when we all turn, we meaning myself and the hairdresser and the art director, look at the picture and we all turn our back on the model. Look at the picture, and I always think, oh God, the poor girl standing there waiting to have this verdict delivered on her.
That's so true. There's often those moments where you're just on set, kind of twiddling your thumbs, wondering what they're all talking about, discussing about you.
often the moment, because we film everything, often the moment we get a lot of the great performances from the models.
Yeah.
Because it's when I stop directing them,
exactly.
the models become themselves and start moving around.
Yeah, because they can relax and feel in their own skin again.
Yeah, Ruth is always very good at that moment of sort of saying, okay, well actually, you know, this is a bit of film we need, because this is a model becoming, you know, herself.
Right.
You know, which is sort of
strange.
strange.
So interesting, isn't it?
But, okay, I'm going to move on slightly more quickly. There we go.
I love this image because I think it really speaks for itself. I think anyone could see that I've been there for quite a while, you know. And I'm very engaged in that woman. And well, this was, you know, an opportunity for me to really create something that meant something to me. Alexandra Shulman had asked me to guest edit British Vogue, and I loved working with you so much that I then asked you. And what I loved is that you then put it back on me. I remember you said to me, you know, I'm only going to do it if it comes from you. Which to me was just so exciting, because then I could go home, and I remember just kind of putting all my favorite books, and I remember being slightly intimidated, like, you know, wow, how do I do this with somebody like you? Like, how do I express to you what I would like to do and know that that's okay with you? So I just sort of put poetry books and images and pieces of fabric that I loved, and I came up with these big kind of mood boards that I showed you. And it was really just, I wanted to capture eroticism, and I love flowers, and I wanted it to be, you know, I love the sort of drips that come off orchids, and I wanted to capture that sensuality, and it was really kind of primitive, I think. And so then, you know, the idea of dyeing my hair all these different colours, like a kind of dead bouquet, it was decay and sensuality and life and expression. So it was very bold, I would say. And I know that, you know, it was a hard thing to push, and I'm so grateful that we did it.
But not all the images we shot appeared in the pages of Vogue.
Yeah.
I think we were both cavalier in our approach to it, because we had you tied up at some points. Some of the photographs that were taken were completely full frontal, and I don't know how to put it, more than full frontal, completely revealing every part of your anatomy, because I thought it was appropriate. You were being completely open with me, and so that, in a way, why did we ever think they would get into Vogue?
Well, I don't know, that I think that's part of the journey. You know, to get to this image, we had to do those. And that is really what I mean about telling a story and getting to these places, as we've discussed. You know, you don't just go to work and take 5 pictures and go home at 6 o'clock. You know, you go to work and you want to create something that's memorable. I mean, to me, you know, I like to look at a magazine and be like, oh wow, you know, I want to think about it, and I want it to have an effect on me, and that was really I felt, you know, this was a great opportunity to be able to try and do that to other people, and I think that we really did, because I know that you still get emails about how did you like that picture, and you know, how did you, and I've seen these images be copied all over the world, you know, and that is an amazing feeling to me. And it was also very truthful, and I love them.
I say we pushed you, but we certainly allowed each other to push each other further and further into a very sort of quite intimate place doing these pictures, which you know, is part of the joy of being able to do what we do. After the series, after we finished the series, I remember did a very short film of you for More Beautiful Women. Do you remember? Just sort of looking straight at the camera.
Yes, I do remember that.
The woman that you were in the film felt very passionate and very sort of almost angry.
Wow.
Would you recognise that emotion in who you became during, or who you allowed yourself to be or found during these pictures?
Yeah, probably, yes.
Because it wasn't, it's a different, the woman here felt to me a different woman from the woman in the Galliano cardboard, a different woman from the attic woman.
Good.
But
that's good.
It felt that the woman you created here, or we created, or we allowed to happen, or whatever we choose, had a certain amount of anger in her. Would you feel? Would you say you had a certain amount of anger in you that is reflective of life?
In these images particularly, or just
these in general, but in these images particularly.
Maybe at that time, maybe, yeah, maybe there was some anger. I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, also, I would never have done something like this with somebody that I didn't respect and trust completely. Yeah. So it's not that I would, you know, do these things at all with, I don't think, anybody else, honestly.
Right.
It was just because we'd worked together so much, and I knew that we had this kind of dynamic together that I felt was an exciting place to be able to be free.
Yeah.
You know, for me, being in front of a lens is extraordinarily freeing. You know, I feel just kind of, I look down a lens and I just see eternity, and that's really exciting.
Excellent.